Hey guys, my name's Jason Tonioli. I'm here with Walter Centeno. We're the founders of, or some of the founders of Amazing Vacations Costa Rica, and we just wanted to share a little bit with you today about kind of where we came from, kind of our origin story, kind of the beginnings of this little company that's doing really cool things here in Costa Rica. Real quick, my background: I've kayaked for like 7-8 years. And my friend and I had been talking about doing a trip down to Costa Rica for I don't know how many years, and it was one of those like, it's not really going to happen, it's not for real. And so we finally had a situation that happened where we were able to come down, and we finally went on that trip, and we met some amazing guides on our trip. And one of the things that I was most impressed with was these guys. They loved to kayak, but they'd also been on the Olympic slalom kayak team for Costa Rica. One of them was actually one of he was the coach for the under-19 rafting team. Walter right here is the man. So he volunteers this time. I mean, I just thought that was so cool. We've got another one of the guides was an Iron Man. They call it a Tico Man. So if you're in Costa Rica, they call it Ticos. He actually went and competed in Chicago and took like 30th place, I think, is in the big competition there. So very, very cool people. But one of the things that happened is, just with my background, so I've been a banker for 12 years doing marketing. Then we quit our jobs and we did a lot of consulting for a lot of companies. And so it's just kind of in my nature to kind of notice things that could be improved and get better. And so during the trip, I saw things, and I was kind of watching and then giving feedback actually to Walter and some of the other team members of ways they could do things better. And my background, we built websites and we've done lots of marketing, and really with the whole travel industry, this Amazing Vacations, I knew nothing about the travel industry, nor did I have any interest in getting into the travel industry. It was like bottom of my, it's crazy, especially, a company in Costa Rica, that's just crazy. So as we were in the jungle camp, about towards the end of the trip down to Costa Rica that we took, I speak Spanish because I spent some time down in Argentina and was overhearing what the guys were talking about. And they'd just been told that they weren't going to replace any of the kayaks, and they were pretty much done doing kayaking trips. There might be a couple more, but they weren't going to invest any more money in kayaking. And I could just see it on their faces of these guys that love kayaking. They were like, they're just bummed. They were so sad. And you'd never know it if you didn't speak Spanish, but I could just tell, gosh, this is not going to be a good thing. So at the time, so I went back and I went back to the room that night and told my friend that I'd gone down with. I'm like, hey, this is probably our last kayaking trip in Costa Rica because they're not going to buy any boats. It's just not going to happen. And we were just joking, like, well, we should just get them some boats and then they can keep doing trips because we want to come down here and do this some more. And for me personally at that time, I'd just been through a really nasty, what I'll call a business divorce, that just didn't end. I mean, it's really, really sad, a whole nother story, but probably one of the hardest things I've ever gone through personally and emotionally, ever. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And I was trying to figure out at that time, how am I going to support my family? How am I going to do this? But yet I wanted to make a difference in the world and help people. And the whole Costa Rica travel idea was like totally stupid idea. I was just thinking, this is dumb. This is crazy. You can't run a company from Costa Rica, nor do I know anything about this. And so really on the outside, I kind of thought, well, I need to get a job, and I'd run a lot of businesses, and I'm like, okay, what's the next crazy idea, or what's the next business idea? And my wife, she wanted stability, and she wanted something where I could just go and get a paycheck and get a job and make money for the family. And so really I'd started several and helped several businesses with our consulting company over the year. And so that was just kind of my nature, my background. And as I mentioned, it's just insanely stupid to say, let's start a company and try to run a Costa Rican company in Utah, of all places. But I kind of had this epiphany, this realization that if we had good people that wanted to do good things, we could change a lot of people's lives and help a ton of people. And that realization was really powerful over the years. I mean, I'd worked and and the goal had been, let's make money, let's make our millions, and this was like, hey, we want to make something good for the world that would change maybe generations of families down the road, while also saying, well, wait a minute, we could actually give people these really cool vacations and help families come together, and groups of people and just friends go have awesome times on the river, and introduce new sports like stand-up paddleboarding, and open up new areas that nobody's ever kayaked in before to people. And so that was just kind of really like, wow, if we could do this and help people have fun. And of all things, I mean, with the digital world we're in, everybody's got their phone, and it seems like even when you go out on vacation, you know, I've been to Disneyland, and I've got, you look down and you got everybody walking around Disneyland trying to experience the world through their phone. And you come to a place like this. I'm in the middle of nowhere, Costa Rica. The sun's setting. We just had a toucan fly over. I think we've seen about a dozen of the white-faced cappuccino monkeys is what they call them here. One had a little baby on his back. He was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. This is a like human experience I'm having with friends, and it's not having my phone out to try and experience everything. I mean, look through your eyes, not your phone. And so we basically started to plan and research and learn more about the business. And I kind of gave the guys an opportunity to say, hey, what if you could create your own trip ideas? You've been doing this for 15 years, and what if we said, hey, where would you go explore? Where would you take people? What would be something new that would be different from everything that's out there? And it was so cool to watch these guys, these local experts, these guys just kind of create these trips. And last year we did Walter they planned out this Pacific Week of Rivers trip, where we took people down these rivers in the Pacific Ocean area. And there's a couple of these that are commercial trips, but we went down one of the coolest rivers I've ever been down in my life. It's called the Guabo River, and you start up in the mountains. There's some cool waterfalls, just fun class 3, and it ends up in the ocean with the waves crashing all around you. You take off and you're in the sand, and you got little crabs crawling. It was so cool. But from that, we were able to create all these things. But realistically, anybody who's done a business, they're like, how crazy and how hard it is. It's not going to be like, oh wow, you just started this business. That's cool. I want to do it too. The problem is you've got all of these tools, and there was just the two of us, and we really didn't have any money to start the thing with. And so we thought, okay, we don't have money to pay dozens of people to put this thing together and to build websites, and we just, with a couple of people working their tails off, we put a website up. We all of a sudden started marketing and advertising. We brought some friends down here and did some trade for time. We brought them down and, hey, come check out Costa Rica. And you had to deal with all the software and then the banks. Oh my gosh, the banks to get approved as a travel agency. I've been in banking for 12 years. That was like the most miserable experience of my life, getting approved. But we did it. It was so cool. But nightmare experience to get approved. So you could just even accept credit cards. Like, everybody's against you, doesn't want you to be successful. And now we're over a year in business. We just finished this scouting trip, and we're running multiple trips a week, almost every single week now, with families coming down. Walter and other people from the team will go and meet up with the families, and they'll take them around. And it's so cool to get these reviews back. I think we've had 100%, 5-star reviews, excellent reviews. People just love this experience that we've been able to provide with really personalized services, where if you're going to come down here, from the time you step off the airplane, you've got your transportation figured out. You probably have your guide that's there picking you up. You have them hanging out with you for the week. It's like having a local friend. Earlier today, we had busloads of people that were all around, that were coming and going ziplining and things like that. But when we do trips, we can do the big groups, but realistically, if you can get a dozen people, it's so much more fun, and you can go to places that are just totally off the grid, that there's not going to be lots of tourists, and realistically, that's what we've been able to achieve. And we've, in the process, we literally have changed lives. Walter has a little 2-year-old that's Ian, that's just super cute, and I mean, he's gonna he's active, crazy. It's gonna be so awesome as he gets older. He's gonna be able to help out and have something to work in this place that maybe there's not a lot of opportunities for people to have good work. and we've been able to do that thanks to people who are looking for a unique, really cool experience. And the cool part about it is we haven't had to charge like tons and tons of money to make it happen. So it's been really cool to just kind of make an impact. And really what I've realized in this whole thing is when you give people the opportunity to, if you can support good people and give them kind of a vision of where they can go and what they can become, you literally can change lives. And it's so cool to see people blossom and be able to spread their wings and just share their talents. And Walter's done such an amazing job with Arnaldo and Davis and Chicky and Francine. And we were earlier today, we had guides coming up to us asking, well, tell us about your company. We want to come and work for you. What's different about it? And what do you think is different about our company?
Kind of like our personal service that we can do, face to face. Family to us comes, and then we can just like customize their dreams, what they want to do in Costa Rica, and then we just put it down and they make it work.
Whether you're wanting to go to a touristy beach area, which we were just at 2 days ago, whether you were wanting to come and have an authentic experience, stay with families, I mean, we can do the whole gamut of things, and it's so fun to get these thank you notes from people as they've come down and just hear the stories of pretty much every person we've helped. They just give us thank yous, and it's been awesome. So there's a little bit about how we got started. Hopefully it wasn't too boring for you, but if you are thinking of coming to Costa Rica, gosh, it's one of the coolest places. As I'm watching the sun drop down. It's like a movie. It's just right at the last little bit here. We'll probably have a toucan again fly by in a second here, but we would love to help you plan a trip down to Costa Rica, whatever the type of vacationer you are. If you're an adventure traveler, or whether you're wanting birds, or whether you want just a full all-inclusive experience, we can do it all, and we'd love to just give you advice on what's an awesome place. So if you're interested, our website's amazingvacationscostarica.com. Again, my name's Jason, this is Walter, and that's our origin story. And as the Costa Ricans say all the time down here, they say pura vida, pure life.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.